What's up, party people? Today I want to talk to you about New World and how it's opening my eyes to a whole new world. Waiting for applause. Whenever you feel like it, really. No? Alright. Fine then. I guess I'll just lay some of the foundation for this video so you can understand where I'm coming from. But first I added this game to my Steam wishlist and forgot about it a while ago. And the reason this affects this is because I came in with zero expectations. You know, I wasn't watching, previews, promotions. I wasn't following updates. So I don't have any expectations for it. I figured, worst comes to worst. I install it. I don't like it. I uninstall it and I refund it. So I figured I didn't really have much to lose. Might as well give it a shot. There's nothing else really out right now that is really capturing my attention. So I just, said, let's go for it. And secondly, you can probably tell by the title of this video, like, I'm not kidding. I'm a noob when it comes to MMOs. I have maybe a combined 80 hours in total. And I think the last MMO I played was Black Desert Online, and that was at least 3 years ago at this point. So, I mean, it's been a while. So I want that to, lay some foundations for maybe some things I'm saying don't really make sense. But I'm definitely trying to come into this and realizing that this has been a whole genre and I'm not trying to change anything drastic, and I don't think I'm saying anything too outlandish is what I'm trying to say. But we'll move on to the third piece of this foundation, and that's that this review is being done during the beta. However, full release is less than a month from now, and so not much is going to change from now until the release. Maybe a couple of small things like bug fixes, or maybe some really minor quality of life changes, or maybe a performance boost here or there. But other than that, it's not really going to change too much. So I figured now is a good time to do the review. So maybe if someone's thinking about buying it for release, or it's a little bit after release, basically what I'm saying is, as long as it's not 2 or 3 years later, this still should hold, and maybe this will still hold 2 or 3 years later. I don't know. I can't see the future. But the fourth piece of this foundation is I didn't spend all my time rushing doing quests either. So some of this gameplay you're going to see, I'm not some insanely high, level 40 or something. I tried doing a whole wide range of things. I tried hunting, I tried fishing, I tried, seeing what it is to level up gathering, mining, playing the market, all of it. So, I wasn't focused on leveling my character. Otherwise, I think I'd be a lot higher than where I am now, but I don't care about my level because everything's getting wiped anyway. And, lastly, some of this gameplay was, captured from a stream, and that streamer happens to be me, and I'm really lonely over there on Twitch, so I think you guys should, come check me out. I'm Fugly over there. Link in the description, just a suggestion, just saying, but you should definitely do it. But so on to the first part of this video, or second part of the video, first part of the actual review, I guess. And I guess, if you're asking yourself, should you get the game, and you're on the fence about it, all I have to say is get the damn game. That's it. I think if you need that little extra push, I'm here to give it to you. It's a great game. I wasn't expecting much, like I said, it came in with no expectations, and I love it. I've lost quite a few hours to this game already, and the only reason I'm not losing more to the game is because it's beta and it's gonna wipe soon, and I don't want to work really hard to get all my stuff and then have it wiped. But the game is great, and I would love to play it even more, but I think that's what's holding me back right now. Another thing you might be worrying about is if you're playing solo, and to that I gotta say, don't worry. I played solo for over half of my playtime, and I would say I had a pretty good time with it. Now, of course, it's always better with friends or, people, your buddies online, whatever. But what game isn't that true for? So, and I think another thing is, even if you are alone, it's easy to make friends on this game. You walk around, maybe you see someone from your faction, you guys have been walking in the same direction for the past 2 minutes, and talk to them through the voice proximity chat, or invite them to a group, and then you guys go off and do your thing together. Can't really complain there. It's pretty easy to make friends and group up, so you're not always going to be playing solo unless that's what you like to do. Then go for it. It's still fun. But the TLDR of everything I just said is, it's a great game, And yeah. So now let's get into the bad, and then we'll get into the good, and then we'll get into some quality of life changes I would like to see made to make the game just a little bit better, but they don't really fit in the good or the bad, I would say. So we'll just start with the bad, and I will stop rambling and actually get to my notes here. Let me see. So you know, the bad news first. This is like one of the talk about this first point is it's kind of one point to a sharp sword of a double-edged sword, you know, and that the map is too big, but on the other hand, it's a nice and big map, you know. So to explain this one a little, there's no things like horses or anything like that in the game. There is fast traveling. However, you do have to be in like a safe settlement to fast travel somewhere, and sometimes those are a kilometer or two away, and that could take you 5 or 10 minutes depending on the terrain and where you're at and stuff. So sometimes it's a lot of walking and it can be annoying, so maybe add things like horses or something. But I also see the argument for not having that. You spend more time in the world, you spend more time interacting with other players maybe. But I would like to see a faster way, just some form of faster travel. I'd like to see. Some quests are really far away as well, and you have to run out to them and then run back. So let's say a quest is 2 kilometers away. It takes you 10 minutes to run there, and then you get there, and then you have to turn back around and go all the way back. It's now you spent 15, 20 minutes just running, and I think that, as beautiful as the world is, I think sometimes it can be a little much, but if you find stuff to do between it and you're not just speed running things, it's also like really not too bad. But I think one way they could probably fix this is maybe not have to run all the way back. Maybe have some couriers, NPCs, or mailboxes or something sprinkled along main roads, and then I can send a letter to whoever I'm questing for that, hey, it's done, and then they'll send a letter to a courier that could find that, well, not like Skyrim find me, but like I talked to one and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, here's this note from this person with your rewards or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm moving on. So I guess to keep on the quests, some quests are very, how do I say this, pointless, I guess I could say it. So for example, for one of the quests, I have to talk to an old man. The old man wants you to go to the certain spot and then do whatever you need to do and go back. But that do whatever you need to do is literally just walk into the point of interest and then walk back. Like, it's completely pointless. At least have us dig in a chest or find a journal or something. Next thing I have on my list here is that the differences in rarity levels for like low level loot, especially, like there is none. So for example, there's only common and uncommon for probably levels 1 to 20. There's no rare or legendary or mythical, or there's none of that. It's all gray and green. I think it's dumb. I think it needs to be spiced up a little bit. For example, maybe a level 4 armor is a level 4 legendary piece of armor is comparable to a level 9 common or something, just it's something to spice it up, make me feel like, oh wow, I found some really good loot here, not just, oh, like many times the loot I find is worse than what I have, which is kind of annoying. But on the subject of loot, another thing that annoys me is hitboxes for ground items, like the wolves you've killed or loot bags are way too small. For example, like this happened to me actually. I went to an area that was under leveled 4. I managed to kill one of the enemies and they dropped their loot, and then I died because I was trying to run around without getting killed by the other enemies. And I was trying to like spam the ground. I was running past the loot bag like 5 times, spamming the ground, hitting E, and my guy couldn't pick it up. Even though my crosshair went right over the bag of loot, it just didn't happen. And I think that's an easy fix. Just increase the hitboxes, and that's good to go. But that was bad. And it's really annoying sometimes. And one last thing I don't like about the game is spawns. So what I mean by spawns is that spawns here they're very uniform. They're the exact same every time. You know what kind of enemy is spawning in what exact spot. You know what ore veins are spawning in what exact spots. You know what these hemp plants are growing. You know exactly where they're at all times. I think it's is really, it makes it monotonous. I think it could be really easily fixed by whenever someone kills something or mines something or harvests something, you know, move the spawn point by a couple meters randomly in some weird direction within a certain area. And it's not that hard of a task to do unless they've really coded themselves into a hole. It's just the little things like that that could improve things. And you know, sometimes people will camp ore veins, so you know, Chad's out there, he's mining iron for days, but no one else can get iron because Chad hasn't moved for 3 days. Chad's just out there mining away, and now no one has any iron. It's just, you know, these small things. But anyway, that's pretty much my list for bad stuff. Honestly, it's really not that bad. Before I get into the good stuff, I need a water break because my mouth is dry. All right, my water break is over, and I have to say, there's a little tangent in the middle of the review. I've drinking like 1.5 liters of water in about an hour. I'm a thirsty boy. That's all I gotta say. But anyway, now we're on to the good stuff. And I want to start with like maybe the best feature in the game that I absolutely love this feature, and it's the voice proximity chat. I love it. Just talk to random people, have random conversations, funny conversations. The stuff you'll hear is pretty funny. You know, I'm sure you can go search online of like funny conversations in New World, and you'll find some stuff. I know I watched some today actually about it. So yeah, that's the first thing that I really like. And I also like the PvE combat. It feels really good to me. Each encounter feels like an actual fight. Sometimes you struggle to win against against one enemy, even if like you're the same level, which I think is great. It's not like other MMOs, kind of like Black Desert, which I mentioned earlier. It's not like that in the fact that I never felt challenged unless I was surrounded by like 12 enemies. It just, I feel like the combat is actually meaningful in this, and I really do like it. And I think the PvP in this game is also done pretty well. So if you don't know, the PvP can be enabled or disabled for you and your group, but you have to be in a safe haven, which is basically, you know, a settlement city kind of thing. And once you leave the settlement, you can't change it. So you can't see someone's getting beat up and then turn it on and go fight them, which I think is good. And if you're losing, you can't turn it off and run away because you're a coward, which is also good. So I really like that. I also really like the faction system and how they allow you to build a sense of pride in your faction by fighting for territory and land. I think it's really good. It makes me feel really connected to my faction. Go Marauders, by the way. Just saying. But I think it's really good, and I can't complain about it at all, really. Could there be some areas for improvement? I mean, yeah, sure, but I can't think of anything, you know, off the top of my head. I'm struggling. I need more water. My mouth is already dry. I'm not sure if what I ate had so much. I don't know what happened, dude. Hold on. All right, now I'm ready. Okay. So, I mean, along with the factions and stuff, you know how you fought for land, and you guys can invade, go to war, fight for the land, and then get perks with the land. I think it's all just, you know, a really, really good way to do it. I can't really think of anything else to help it, you know? Now on to the leveling system in this game. The leveling system is, I think, pretty good in this game. Could it be improved? I mean, it could definitely be improved. I'm just not sure how I improve it. It keeps things simple while also giving the player choices and different paths for each weapon. So for example, with like the battle axe, you could be more of a tanky build, or it could be more of a DPS build. It just kind of depends on your play style, and it has that for all different kinds of weapons. You have to use them to level it up, and I think it's a good system. Could be improved, maybe some more variety, but I think as it is now, it's pretty good. Maybe a little too simple if anything, but right now I think it's in a good spot. And another thing I want to talk about is the chat system. I think the chat system is, oh my god, I don't know if I'll be able to finish this video. Oh jeez. Okay, all right, the chat system, that's where I was at. I'm pretty sure you can filter this to, you know, to whatever you want to see. If you want to see the global chat, the local chat, your faction chat, your group chat, your friends, whatever. You can see it all and filter out whatever you don't want to see. So I think that's pretty good. So another thing I like about this game is the no mini map, because some people have made a case for wanting the mini map, but in my eyes, you can auto run, see where your guy's at, and look on the map. So you can see where your guy is at on the map, is what I'm trying to say, while you auto run. So if you need a mini map, I mean, you can do that, which I think is good. I think mini map kind of breaks immersion anyway. The next thing I want to talk about is the camping system. I think the camping system is great. It allows you to set your spawn point, you know, anywhere in the wild. You can cook rations on there, so go hunting, set up some camp for the night, get a fire going and cook up your meat that you just got from your kill. I think it's great. I think it's a great system. And, you know, it also levels up as you level up. So I think it's level 15 and 25 for sure as of right now. I actually also, you know, really enjoy hunting for my food now that food is useful, unlike some games. Skyrim. It's really nice to, you know, feel like hunting is useful and it's actually fun to hunt. I don't know why, but I really enjoy shooting turkeys. Maybe it's the one-shot kill and they just drop like a stack of potatoes. I don't know what it is, but I really enjoy it. And the last good part about this game on this list, there's lots more that's good about it, but if I would have fit all of it into here, we would have been here for a little bit. I'm trying to keep this as short and concise while stopping rambling like I'm doing now. Last thing on my list is the world is beautiful. I think it's designed really well. The different areas are leveled differently, which I think is great, which is an MMO standard, I would assume. But, you know, like I said, I'm kind of new to MMOs. But there's different wildlife in different areas, and it's all clearly marked off, so you know where you're going, you know where you should and shouldn't be. I think it's really well done, and sometimes, you know, I do take a step back and I'm like, wow, this looks really good. Now we're on to the last part, the quality of life stuff, and this is just some stuff I want to see introduced in the game, really. And first things first, I'm just gonna come out and say it. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Let us view our inventory while we are running. I don't understand why it's not a thing. I don't know who said let's not make it a thing. I can't come up with a reason to defend that. You know, maybe they coded themselves into a corner and now it's weird at the rendering or something. I don't know. I don't care. It needs to be fixed, and I don't think there's a single soul that plays this game that's advocating for the other, that's advocating, oh no, I don't want to open my inventory while I'm running. I don't think anybody's saying that. Everyone's saying they want to be able to open it while they run. And while I'm at it, let me open my inventory while I'm harvesting things. Whenever I press tab to try to open my inventory while I'm harvesting stuff, it doesn't work. I don't know why. It needs to be fixed. All right, big breath. Okay. Those are the big things that I can think of that don't have an argument against them for going the other way. But there's also one other thing I wanted to fit into this review, I guess you could say, that doesn't really fit into any other categories, and it's that something needs to be done about the swimming. It's really weird, and it's a half-baked idea at this point. It's probably the most half-baked thing in this game, which on one hand is really good, on the other hand it's pretty lazy. But as it is right now, like, you hold your breath for a certain amount of time underwater and you drown, which sounds reasonable, right? Except the fact that your guy doesn't swim. If it gets too deep, he walks on the floor. It's like he's walking across the ocean floor like in Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't understand. Add a swimming animation, and then maybe as the player's swimming across, they use stamina, and then once they're out of stamina, then they sink to the bottom, and then they drown. I don't know, I think that's something that can also be pretty easily fixed. But yeah, guys, that's about all I got. We've come to the end of the video, and you know, all I gotta say is thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And I was pretty serious about the whole Twitch thing. I'm pretty lonely over there.